Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me as I share a few thoughts around a very important topic, the topic of well-being. Well-being is central to flourishing. It's central to the success of teachers, of principals, of learners. And my task in the next few minutes is to share a few strategies around enhancing the well-being of teachers and principals. We know that we've come through a time that has been very demanding and that teachers and principals are feeling exhausted after having the goalposts moved, schools opening and closing, and having to think on their feet, adjust, adapt, be flexible, and eventually this becomes extremely draining. And so we have teachers who are saying that they're stressed, anxiety levels are high. So what can we do in small ways to make sure that teacher well-being is looked after, is nurtured? We can't wait for the department. We can't wait for the virus to pass. We can't wait for something just to happen that's going to make things better. We have to take control of what we can control. We have to look at well-being from the inside out. So what is it that you can do as a person to be able to control what's in your sphere of influence to make sure that you are able to pace yourself in a way that allows you to stay the course, to run this marathon, and it can't be run at a sprint pace. So I'd like to share with you just a few thoughts around well-being. And well-being can be divided into a few domains. We have physical well-being, we have cognitive well-being, emotional well-being, social well-being, spiritual well-being. But if we start with physical well-being, which is very obvious, that is an easy place to start because there are changes there that we can make that are so important. And I'd like to stress that self-care is not selfish. Self-care is vital for well-being. And often people feel that if they're taking care of themselves, it's selfish. But in fact, we've got to put on our own oxygen masks before we can assist others. So it's an investment in yourself is vital to your being of any benefit and value to others. So do see this as being essential to being able to cope. Physical well-being, how much sleep are you getting? Are you able to get out and exercise? Exercise is crucial to well-being. And even if it's a brisk walk, that is going to allow you to feel better, clear your mind, and be able to cope with stress that much easier. How are you handling your physical well-being? What about your cognitive well-being? Cognitive well-being refers to how we think, what we feed our minds with, and one of the things that we need to remember is that how we think will come out in our behavior, will come out in our attitudes. And so if we are focusing on the negative, if we are framing things negatively, then this is going to lead to well-being that is depleted, and we need to look at ways of how we can change that. So how we frame things, how we consider the way that we language things is going to impact on our cognitive well-being. The amount of news that we watch, the information that we receive is definitely going to impact on our cognitive well-being. So limit the news intake and make sure that the sources of information that you are accessing on COVID are reputable, reliable, and helpful. What about social well-being? Connection with others is so vital to our being able to pace ourselves and feel that sense of nurturing and overall well-being. So I really encourage you to stay connected. Look for opportunities to stay connected with friends and family. What about spiritual well-being? Taking time to be still, to reconnect with that sense of purpose, that sense of call, that sense of priority. Taking time to journal, to reflect, to write down thoughts, what you're grateful for. The gratitude journal is a wonderful way of connecting with our spiritual well-being, or enhancing our spiritual well-being. Because as we reflect on what we are grateful for, so our sense of joy is increased. I would encourage you for 21 days to write down 3 things each day that you're grateful for at the end of the day too. And that may be difficult, particularly when you're navigating these times as schools open and you're trying to deal with crisis after crisis. It's going to be vital to stop and say, well, what went well today? And as we focus on what went well, we force our minds to look at what is good and look at life through a positive lens, because there is so much to be grateful for. What about emotional well-being? That sense of being able to express our emotion, to have our feelings validated, and to acknowledge that we are in a place of loss, and that there will be emotions that accompany that. And there's an element of grief that accompanies any kind of loss. And we need to recognize that there will be feelings of anger at times. There'll be feelings of extreme sadness because we can't be close to loved ones. And that emotional well-being cannot be ignored. So we need time to talk. We need time to unpack how we're really feeling. And so to find somebody that you can talk to is absolutely vital. And Lifeline, which is now called Revive, offers an online service, a free telephone counseling service that is available. So if you Google Revive, you will find information about an online counseling service. And so we need to look out for one another and provide a context just for talking through the loss, talking through what we have to now consider living without, and realize that the grief is real. And then to remember that there's always reason for hope. And although things have changed, we can move forward. We can express gratitude for what we do have. And even if it's in a small way, we can look at daily having our emotional tanks topped up, and daily looking at ways of topping up the tanks of others. And so stay connected with each other. Stay connected with your facilitators. Stay connected spiritually, and realize that it's so important that we recognize that this too shall pass. And there will come a time when we will be able to hug our family members, our extended family members again. We will be able to attend church. We will be able to celebrate with friends. So thank you for watching. Be encouraged. Your well-being is absolutely crucial. Self-care is vital. It's not selfish. And know that this too shall pass. God be with you. God bless you. Go well.